So the Master's in International Affairs provides students with in-depth knowledge of the contemporary state of affairs in the world. We need an understanding, I would say a sophisticated understanding of international affairs in order to be able to influence the course of events in our own communities. So there are many reasons to take a Master's in International Affairs in Paris. First of all, we're in Paris, and this is a city with an extraordinary history of influence in international affairs. French was the language of international diplomacy for centuries. Today, Paris is the home to many leading international institutions, the OECD, UNESCO, the International Chamber of Commerce. Our students intern with these institutions, and they're very much implicated in the development of policy at the international level. The École de Guerre is a course. Any student who is in the politics graduate programs can take it. A student who comes from the Masters in International Affairs would have the option of playing the role of a UN officer on the ground in the war zone, somebody from the WHO, or from UNICEF, for example, or from the UNHCR working with refugees. It's a one-week scenario where we have a crisis. And students are required to work with about 250 military officers and different mentors coming in from the outside, diplomats, for example, in order to respond to computer-generated crises that cascade, that occur one after the other during the week that they're at the War College, and they love it. Well, we have a long experience now of sending students out into the world, and they do three different things. Some students go on to a PhD. Those students who get the PhD are now teaching. So I have students who I can bring back as professors for modules to teach at AUP. We also have a very large proportion of students who go out into the civil society sector. They might work for the big NGOs, Médecins du Monde, Médecins Sans Frontières, or they may work for the UN system. They also, interestingly enough, go into business or into local politics, but with I would call it a sort of a humanitarian, sometimes environmentalist edge. And many of them work in New York and Washington, D.C. with big organizations where they're involved in trying to influence policy, the development of policy. So a Master's in International Affairs student is someone who is not afraid to pursue the unknown. In other words, they're willing to come abroad, to study at an unusual institution because we're intellectually rigorous and very hands-on at the same time, and who's curious about the world. Those who are curious about the world should come to AUP.